Year 1306. Cedric visits his little brother Edward almost once a week after he got the news last year that Edward's wife Estelle had died. Even if Cedric had too much to do at the farm, he couldn't just leave his brother alone. Edward was heartbroken from losing his wife. He had no idea how to continue living after this. Edward didn't even mention his 2 kids when Cedric was there, but he thought it was just a phase and that Edward would care more for his children when the grief had faded. Cedric tried helping him when he could, but he also had 4 kids who needed him, and a wife. Lisa had to work much more when Cedric wasn't near, and Thomas was always hungry and crying. It didn't get easier when he got older. Christopher had also grown older and could finally walk on his own. Rosemary accepted her new brother more now, except when he started crying. Lisa didn't know if she could handle all the kids by herself, but she couldn't ask Cedric. He already helped her after he had visited Edward by bathing one of the kids or playing with them. She knew he was tired. Still, Cedric managed to grow a wonderful looking farm. They had plenty of food this year to keep their little family fed, but if Lisa became pregnant again, it could be a problem. Lisa made tasty soups and stews for her family. She was very happy to see her kids well fed and clean. The animals didn't have to suffer either. Since the family had to work so much, the house started to suffer though. Dirty surfaces made their skin red and itchy. Lisa was terrified of getting some kind of disease. So when she had time, she scrubbed the whole house until her hands became red with scars. Lisa never went through a day without thinking of her brother. He was indeed safe with that April girl, but Lisa missed protecting him just like she did when he was little. Now he was a grown man with his own life and maybe even his own kids. Christopher, Cedric's 3rd child, was kind of a lonely wolf. Since Rosemary and Harvey were such good friends, he never got to hang out with them. But that was okay. Christopher liked being alone, playing his own games and by his own rules. He saw himself as a horse rancher, taking care of the fastest horses in the world. Maybe he could be the fastest horse rider someday. One morning when Cedric woke up, he felt like something was wrong. He was bathing Thomas when he felt that odd feeling in his chest, like someone had passed. He couldn't explain the feeling and didn't know why he felt it. No one was dead. He was going to see his brother that day, and when he was there, he saw his brother crying in bed and 2 really hungry kids. Cedric asked where Edward's youngest son Josh was. Edward answered with tears in his eyes. Josh had left them. Earlier that morning, poor little Josh had cried so much. Edward couldn't handle the sound, so he took his 2 other sons out in the woods. When he came back, Josh was gone. Cedric became angry at Edward. Why didn't he tell him that his kids needed help? Lisa could have come and helped him. Edward thought he could handle the situation by himself, but he was wrong. Cedric wanted to punch him but couldn't. It wasn't worth it. Josh was still gone. Instead, Cedric made food for the kids. He couldn't leave them without knowing that they had eaten. Edward was poor, but not so poor that he was without food. Cedric even delivered food to him every week if he could. Almost all that food was spoiled though. How long had these kids starved? Cedric then went home and talked to his wife. He really needed advice now. Lisa did not like that there was kids starving and she wanted to take them to the farm. Cedric wanted that too, but they had a limited amount of food as well. Yes, he had given Edward food, but if the harvest was bad, no one would make it. Cedric was thinking day and night what he should do. He also spent the majority of time at Edward's place. He was just at home to feed the animals and spend some time with his wife. Rosemary and her siblings never saw their father anymore. He was always working. Cedric had 2 options. Take the kids and bring them to the farm, or take them to an orphanage. He didn't like the second option. So then it was decided. The kids would move in to Cedric. Edward wouldn't make it alone. Besides, the family could use some help from more people. Lisa was really exhausted from everything. Cedric built 3 new beds in the shed beside the house, where Edward and his kids could stay. It was weird for Cedric that Edward was back on the farm. He remembered how lazy Edward was before he moved out. Hopefully, something had changed. In the beginning, Edward was really a big help to the family. He helped Lisa with laundry, removing weed from the crops, and even tried fixing some furniture. He had no idea what he was doing though. Cedric was happy that his brother had grown up. But then everything changed. Edward started to disappear more often and could be gone for hours. Cedric later found out by some of the villagers that Edward was sleeping with other women. He even kissed a girl in front of her husband. Edward was not popular in town now. The truth was that Edward had no idea what he was doing anymore. When he wasn't near a woman, he just cried and broke apart. So he went to women to drain his sorrows. That was the only thing that helped. Cedric didn't know what to do. And he really didn't know what to do when Lisa told him that she was pregnant again. They already had 6 kids to keep fed, and there was no chance that Cedric could fix that all by himself. There was no other choice than leaving Edward's kids to an orphanage. Edward was out of control and Cedric couldn't fix him, but he could save his kids. Tyler, who was the oldest, would probably suffer the most by leaving his father. But Cedric reassured him that when Kyler was old enough, he and his father would guide him to be the perfect heir. His father just needed some time. The village had one orphanage, owned by Deborah Cornett. She was a very strict woman who didn't like kids that much. Convenient, right? But Cedric had no more ideas on how to solve the problem. Maybe Deborah could be a safe person for the boys. He just had to wait and pray that everything would be fine. Cedric hugged his boy Harvey when he got home. He never wanted to treat his children like Edward did, even if Lisa died. But Cedric actually blamed Lisa for being pregnant again, even if it was his fault as well. But Lisa understood. Taking care of all the kids was hard, and now they waited for another one. After Edward and the kids moved out, Lisa had a lot to take care of. Edward wasn't the most clean person. Something that was positive was that they had more food again. It was nice eating real food. And thankfully, Lisa's unborn baby wasn't too hungry, so she could have the food herself. The weather seemed to be much better this year, and the crops looked amazing. Lisa and Cedric made a plan of how to work in the days. If Lisa took care of the house and kids, Cedric could take all the outside work on the farm. He sometimes took Rosemary with him so she could learn, and Lisa took the boys to the chapel. She wanted them to understand their religion. Harvey thought it was interesting, but Christopher sat and cried. Lisa took her religion very seriously and wanted the kids to take it seriously as well. Lisa and Rosemary got a better relationship now that their parents had a better schedule. She really missed talking to someone now when Estelle was dead. She sometimes talked to Harvey, but he often told her secrets to Cedric, so she couldn't trust him anymore. At the end of the year, Lisa became very excited for a new baby. But her body was also tired of all the pregnancies. She didn't know how much her body could tolerate being pregnant. Hopefully, everything would be okay. I hope Edward's kids will survive and come back to their father in the future. But as always, we just have to wait and see.